honestly, for anybody who's interested in history and the process of being a historian, of really analyzing and discerning information, which is so important in this day and age. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is Google for SHEG, which is again Stanford History Education Group for short. And right there at the top is Reading Like a Historian. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And then we're going to click here on this top link, Reading Like a Historian, which then brings us to the SHEG History Reading Like a Historian page. So they actually recently just updated their website. You used to be able to not download, but to view their lesson plans without being registered, but now they changed it, so you have to be registered, and frankly, anybody can do it. You don't have to be a teacher. You can just be an interested citizen, essentially. All right, so to get along with this, what Reading Like a Historian does is it provides lesson plans for educators that have both a lesson plan that you can just use as it is laid out, or you can modify it to however you need it to be. And it also, which is such a great part of this, is it provides primary source documents and resources for a lesson plan. And then you could go ahead and just use those and create your own lesson plan. You don't have to use the SHEG. So, for an example, let's say you want to go ahead and teach a lesson on the civil rights. So, right here, civil rights, go ahead and click on View Lesson. And that brings us to the Civil Rights Movement lesson page. And you go ahead and scroll down, and right here where it says Teacher and Student Materials. So, like I said before, you were able to do this without registering. Now you have to, but it's a free registration. So if you are interested in this or want to use it, say if you're a fellow history teacher, very easy to do. So I don't want to download it. I just want to go ahead and take a look at it. So let's go ahead and just click Quick View here. And then it brings up the lesson plan. Should appear right now. Fantastic. So here is the lesson plan. We always have a central historical question. For this one, it says, how do historical photographs fit into the history of the African American civil rights movement in the 20th century? It breaks down the lesson plan for the materials that will be used, the overview, which breaks down even more so. And as you scroll down, then we'll go ahead and show you the documents that it provides. And here's a little explanation of these particular documents, these photos, because this is a lesson on photos for the civil rights movement. And as you keep scrolling down, this is rather explaining how the documents are going to be used in the lesson. But as you scroll all the way down, there we go, it shows you the sources and these links for these photos. So for example, let's go ahead and click on this link. If we can here. Let's go ahead and highlight it. Okay, well I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. Oh. Command C that. Let's open a new window. Paste. And then this is going to take us to the Library of Congress, where it brings up this particular photo of a school, seems to say here in Charlotte. And this will hopefully pull up shortly. There we go. So it shows you these photos that are going to be used in this lesson plan from the Library of Congress. So like I say, this is a fantastic, fantastic resource for history teachers, but also for students. Let's go ahead and just take a quick view at the student materials. These student materials would be what you would use for the lesson plan. This is what you would provide to the students. And as you see here, it has the photos that were in those links for the teacher material. Here's a picture of the Black Panthers party. Picture of students at Howard University. Looks like they're having ropes like their nooses for to protest lynching. Anyways, like I say, this is a fantastic, fantastic resource for history teachers, for history students, for parents who have their kids in history classes, and it has an enormous amount of content, both for U.S. history, like that previous lesson. We could also look into what they have for world history. Let's see what it brings up here. Things like China's Cultural Revolution, the Korean War, Nazi propaganda, India partition, when India became independent along with Pakistan at the time. Breaks down the time periods here. Just a fantastic resource, and it also has these introductory materials such as the historical thinking chart, collaboration classroom poster, all kinds of things that you can do in a history class. Let's go ahead and just click on the historical thinking chart. This is really what it's all about, people. I'm just going to go ahead and read this for you. This chart elaborates on the historical reading skills of sourcing, collaboration, contextualization, and close reading. In addition to questions that relate to each skill, the chart includes descriptions of how students might demonstrate historical thinking and sentence frames to support the development of these skills. This right here, sourcing, corroboration, sourcing, corroboration, contextualization, and close reading. Those right there are the 4 cornerstones of how to read like a historian, how to think like a historian. And beyond that, in this day and age where we have to deal with so much information and we really don't know necessarily where it's all coming from at once, the ability to properly source information, to corroborate it, to see whether it's legitimate or not, to put it in context, to use contextualization, to give it more of a thorough meaning, and close reading, which is just as it says, to give it a really close reading and not just brush over it. These are the important skills that not only are required to be a successful history student, but frankly, to be an informed citizen in the 21st century. So, that is the Stanford History Education Group, Reading Like a Historian. And I thank you guys for watching.